This is Levine, and this is Levine's roadmap to success. He's a lap dog, evidently. You are too big to be a lap dog, but we'll let you get away with it. Yes, thank you, buddy. And what's the cat's name?
Luke.
And this is Luke.
Wants to be in the video.
Luke wants to be, he wants to be a part of things too. It's a pack. So, all right, you're going to stay here with me. It looks better if I have a dog in the shot. All right, so this is his roadmap to success. His primary issues are really, one of the main things the Guardian want to work on was the stuff we worked on in the video above about loose leash walking. It's not really loose leash walking, but things to set him up for success and stop him from pulling on the leash. And again, if you wanted to teach him to do some loose leash walking, let us know. I'm hiring new trainers, and when I have somebody trained up, we can have them come by. They can either do all the work for you, or we can actually do it where we come and show you the step, and you practice it for a week, and then call us back, and we come back and show you the next step. Or something we're going to start doing here this summer is what we call daycare training. I think we're going to do it at Come Sit Stay too, where we'll actually come to the location. I don't know, I have to see the location, but where we'll actually go to the location, we'll grab your dog while it's in daycare, work with it for 5 minutes, put it back in daycare, grab another dog, work with it for 5 minutes, and do this for about 6 or 7 dogs for the hour, and do this all day long. You can't really train a dog for longer than 5 minutes at a stretch. But if we do this all day long, we could probably get your dog close to an hour's worth of exercise, of training while it's at daycare. So you don't have, if we come to your house, we're kind of limited how much we can do. So if it's something we'll be announcing, and we'll let you know. If you want to take advantage, just let us know. So I would prefer to teach him walking with a loose leash, but he did really good with the tips that we went above. All right, so we start off by talking about exercise. He is a little bit robust. We like to see him a little bit thinner. You should be able to feel the ribs but not see them, and I cannot feel the ribs when I'm running across here. And he's really a puppy. He's only 1.5 years, and he should have a narrow and hourglass shape. And the great thing is dogs are very great athletes, and so it won't take a long time to take it off. I think he's eating some of the cat's food. He's also been getting humans' food, and he's only fed 2.5 cups a day, which isn't really that much for a dog his size. But I would recommend that we start feeding him a little bit at daycare. So feed him, make sure he gets an hour before we go to daycare. Then ask him to like at 12:30 or 1 o'clock to pull him out of daycare or out of playing. Let him eat, and then give him an hour nap time to relax and to get it out of his stomach. Then he gets to eat again. And this way you're feeding him like a hefty cup for dinner or for breakfast, a regular cup at lunch, or they are, and then a little bit less than a full cup for dinner. So he's going to get, or whatever, you play around with the weights. Also, I would chop up green beans and put some green beans in it. So the green beans, that extra fiber will help him feel full. Let me see. So feeding him more frequently should help. Upping his exercise will help a lot. At one point, he started to bite the dog bed, which we call dugout. And so I told the Guardian, I want you to interpret if he starts doing nuisance behaviors as a naughty dog, ask yourself how long it's been since he's had exercise. And if it's been a while, spend 5 minutes having him chase the laser, or play fetch for 10 minutes outside, or throw treats up and down the stairs, or a combination thereof. You can also use scent games. Just do scent training. Just Google it, and you can hide some treats, and it's stimulating for them as well. So he probably needs, if we get him more exercise, he goes to daycare almost every day during the week, and when he's there, he's getting plenty of exercise, but he's also practicing some things we don't like he's peeing on the floor, and he's having some accidents here. I'm going to talk about potty training in a second. He also practices playing very exuberantly with the other dogs and wrestling and jumping up on them, and those are translating over to the humans. So for the potty training, after we talked about exercise, we talked about potty training. Potty training, a lot of people confuse their dog the way they train, and I think that was the case here. So when he's going outside, just go outside with him, or finally at the time of the year where it's nice. Go outside, have a treat with you. Don't show him that you have the treat, just watch. Change the word from potty to something else that doesn't have the baggage with it. So I say business, but you can say dump or whatever you want to say. So fun words are advisable. So as soon as he starts to pee or poop, say business one time, and don't say business, because you'll stop him from peeing, and then he'll come inside and have an accident. So you say business once. When he gets done, you crouch down like a catcher in baseball, and then he'll see it, and you give him a treat, and then we say business a second time. Remember, anytime we give a treat, the treat goes in the mouth first, then we hear the command word after. So now after a while, he's like, so every time I'm in the middle of peeing or pooping, I hear the word business, and then afterwards, I get this delicious treat, and I hear the word business again. After enough repetition, he'll all those things become synonymous, and he'll start offering them together. Or he'll put them all together. And then if you say business, he goes like this, it's a yes. If you say business, he looks at you, it's a no. Now, because he's having accidents out here, and he's kenneled when his guardians doesn't take him to daycare, which we really want to keep that less than 4 hours whenever possible. So there's a place over in front of the TV where there's a towel, and that's where he's been peeing. The guardian's been cleaning it up. You want to use something with an enzyme, but at this point, if it happened overnight, it's probably seeped down into the webbing as well as the padding, and so it's probably attracting his attention. Plus, he's practicing going inside at daycare. So what I would recommend the guardian to start doing is closing the door to her bedroom at night. So that way he doesn't have access to come out here and go in the same place that it smells like urine. Now, I'd also set him up for success. Make sure we exercise him. They have exercise zones at the beginning of the day, or bursts of energy at the beginning of the day, end of the day. So about an hour before bed, make sure you take him out and play fetch, or the laser outside at night is great. And give him like a good 10 minutes of exercise to really burn that extra energy. He's going to come in, he's going to drink some water. That's fine. Once he gets done drinking the water, dump the remaining water so the bowl is empty. And that's the cat. And Luke. And then basically liquid's about 45 minutes for dogs. So if you pull the water about an hour before you go to bed, and then take him outside like once or twice before you go to bed, now he should be fairly empty and should be able to hold it overnight. Now, if he does get up and whimper and whine, if you're inclined to want to let him go out, I would, but I would make sure you stay out there with him and try to wipe the sleep out of your eyes and have that treat and say the command word, because we don't want him to start having an accident in the room as well. But if we properly motivate him with the positive reinforcement, and the guardian, I heard, like a lot of people have, rubbing the dog's nose in urine is a good way to potty train him. It is the worst way to potty. As a matter of fact, it will make your dog not want to tell you that it has to potty, and it will promote accidents in the house. So it's been clinically proven, but it's the old wives' tale. Everybody says it. And it just teaches the dog to go and hide away from you and pee not in your sight. That's not what we want. So also don't get mad at the dog for doing that. Come here, buddy. Yes, he's getting into my bag of goodies. He's a cat. There's some good stuff in here. All right. So that's potty training. Let me see. We also went over the importance of rules. You need some rules, buddy. Yes, you do. Yes, and you can kiss me as much as you want, but you're still going to have some rules. One of the rules he's violating now, I would wait until you get the X mats for your couch, but no furniture for at least 66 days minimum, or as long as the problem's going on. Now, the guardian made a kind of a face when I just said that. You could always go down to his level and lay out with him, and you can go to your bed. Now, for the bed, he should have to wait permission to get up on the bed. He gets on the bed without your permission. Throw a treat down on the ground. When he comes and gets it, maybe close the door and keep him out of the room, or use those escalated consequences. When you're changing and getting in your PJs and getting in the bed, fluffing the pillows, when you're ready, then you invite him on the bed when you want, where you want. For the couch, it would be no furniture for at least 66 days. And then after that, furniture with an invitation and only for good behavior. And the X mats, make sure you use those so that he just can't get up here in the meantime. And after about 2 months, you'll be able to remove one of the X mats and reposition them, and he'll still stay off the couch. Then a little bit more, and that's okay. A little bit more, and eventually he gets to the point where there's no X mats on the couch, but he's just used to not going on the couch. Now, at the same time, we always, whenever I talk about taking away the couch, I always show people how to use a dog bed. And he did that great. He started already laying down it. We call it dugout. So remember, toss those 10 treats. You only have to do that a couple more times. And then then put him in a sit there or lay down there and give him a treat, or leave a treat there and wait for him to find it. Now, and then the next step is when he goes there on his own, pet him or say the word or throw a treat when he goes there to motivate or reward him for doing it. Now, the dog bed that's out here is a little dark color, so get light cream, white, or light gray for the dog beds if you end up getting more. And I have one in every room that we hang out in, and each dog bed should have its own name. So this is Dugout. Maybe that's, what do they call it, Cubby Stadium?
Wrigley Field.
Maybe that's Wrigley, and it's the other one we call it something else, whatever it is. And so this way, we can direct the dog to different places. And it's funny, we're a Cubs house. We like Cubs here, so we're gonna make use that as a watchword. So, but when you get another dog bed, I find the best place to get them on is on Groupon. The ones that I get on Groupon, they're like a cushion like this, so it keeps this rigidity. A lot of them, the one that the Guardian has, it kind of lumps up, and so you could toss a treat in there. It could be behind the crevice, and you couldn't see it. But if it's a light gray or light white or white or light cream, and there's a treat there, it's very easy to see. And the best place I found to get them is a Groupon. They're cheapest. So I get like the large size probably, and again I'd put it the one here, and then have one in your room wherever. But he sleeps in the bed, that's fine. But if you have a game room in the basement or something like that, have another one there. All right. So exercise is really important. Rules. Let me see other rules. When right now the Guardian just moved here, so right now this is where she eats. So I would suggest eating here. And when you're eating, he's not allowed to be in this section between the couch and the table, or from the table to the wall there, this section here, or on the carpet here. So we have, for dogs, they need to be within 7 feet of anybody who says a high value item is a way of challenging for that item. And we're going to stop giving people food because that really confuses them. It's probably related a little bit to this and some of the gas. And go to the green spot. I give you that card, so go to the green spot. Tell him what you feed him now and just say, look, he's gassy. He's a little bit thick. What would you suggest? And they can give you some options. Tell them their price point. They have really expensive food. Just food's a little bit more affordable. And just tell them what. But the higher quality food you feed your dog, the less poop that will come out of your dog. And also less gas that will come out of your dog. Let me see. So other rules, not being allowed in the kitchen when we're preparing food. Not allowed to run up and down the stairs ahead of us or down the hallway. You have to sit before you let it go out in or out a door. Remember, double the length of time. Now for the kitchen, you can set him up for success by helping him practice. So go in your kitchen and microwave a piece of bacon or lunch meat. But before you do that, go in the kitchen, and when he follows you, march towards him using that third escalating consequence I showed you. And then once he gets across the line, stop. Wait for him to stop moving. So if he goes over here, then beat him with a punch. And eventually he'll go back and forth a couple times. Eventually he'll stop. When he stops, take a step backwards like we did in the leadership exercise. When you take a step backwards, he'll probably come forward. Hiss and rush towards him right away. And they keep doing this back and forth until eventually you take a step back, he stays seated, or he stays still. You take another step back. And then that's when I would microwave the bacon, but I'm keeping my hips pointed towards him wherever I'm at in the kitchen. And as soon as he comes in, I hiss and start marching towards him. But if he crosses the threshold and I'm way over at the counter and I start rushing towards him, I take 3 steps and he gets out of the kitchen, that's where I stop. I don't have to go all the way to the edge. I just reacting until he gets out of the boundary that he's not supposed to be in. Then I microwave the bacon, I put it on the counter, he's like, oh, it smells like we're cooking. And he's gonna try to come in. So we keep on making him go out with that same consequence. And eventually when he stays out or sits or lies down, then I pretend like I'm cooking. I open to the fridge, I take some stuff out, I turn the stove on, turn the oven on, and I'm banging pots and pans around. It sure looks and smells like I'm cooking. But anytime you cross the threshold, you stop what you're doing and rush towards him. If you're actually cooking, you're distracted. He comes across the threshold and you don't disagree. Remember, you have 3 seconds to correct or reward him. So once he actually does what he's doing here, sits or lies down, then you put the bacon away and you cook your actual meal. You do a warm-up session for him. You do the same thing here by microwaving a piece of ham and then having your burrito or whatever you're going to eat. And so you cut up the ham and you pretend like you're cooking, like you're eating. It smells like it every time you cross the threshold. And you stand up and reset. And eventually he sits or lies down. Then you open your burrito and actually eat your real meal. So again, you help him set himself up for this. And after you do this for a couple of days, he'll just kind of start staying off the boundary on his own. He'll still push a little bit, and it's up to you to make sure you maintain that boundary. Now, I also suggest the guardian start feeding him in a structured way. So you put food down. I put it in, well, I guess right there is fine. But he's not allowed to be, maybe he can't cross this line or be in the kitchen when the food is down. And then you grab a chip or cracker or something that you can eat in 5 or more bites. When you get, and then actually before you do that, I put the cat's food up. And then you grab the, make sure he's out of the kitchen first. Then put the cat's food up. At any point he comes in the kitchen, throughout this whole process, you hiss and rush towards him. Then you put the cat's food up and invite the cat. And the cat's only going to have till he gets done eating, and then the cat's food's going to go away as well. Now, I know it's a little bit different for cats, but they can learn to eat this way because he eats some of the cat's food. So basically, then you put the food in his bowl, and then I'd like you to lean against the counter way in the back and then eat those chips so that there's nothing but air between him and his food. But again, if he crosses this threshold or that threshold, you stop what you're doing and rush towards him. And he's going to try several times. Actually, because he's kind of free-fed now, he might not even care at first. But eventually he will start probing and pushing him. Just make sure you're equal to the task. And then you're going to be leaning against the counter, back there eating your 5 bites. And 5 tiny bites works. Doesn't have to be a real meal. Real meals be better. But when you get done with your 5 bites, then you invite him over. And when he comes and takes his first bite of food, you say the word lasagna or sushi or whatever the word is you want to be his command word to eat. Try to come up with something funny. So he takes his first bite of food for 3 months. He hears the word lasagna. After a while, he could be sitting there and he could be watching TV, lasagna, and then he runs and gets it. So you want to, that's a good opportunity to delay gratification like we talked about earlier. So basically, and then if he goes and sniffs his bowl, and I don't feel like eating and walks away, pick up his bowl, dump it back in the bag, and put the empty bowl back down, and don't feel guilty about it at all. You gave him an opportunity, he turned his nose up. That is on his tab, not on your tab. Now afterwards, if you over-encourage him to try to do, oh, she wants me to eat. By not eating, I retain the power. You got to eat. I've eaten, so the human eats in the first position. You get to eat, and as soon as you walk away from the bowl, I pick it up and dump it and put the empty bowl back down. 99% of the time, they come and lick the empty bowl. He does not eat again until the next meal. Now, if he goes longer than 3 days, message me, but usually I mean somebody in the house is cheating, but since there's only one guardian in the house, we'll know who be cheating. So this way, this helps him. Now he's gassy right now. And again, it might be the food that he's eating is not agreeing with him. It could be stress. It could be related to a couple of different things. So the green spot will help you. They might be able to recommend some food, some signature that's easy to digest at first. Just like us, some people have more sensitive stomach than others. But he's also, I think, stressed. And stress could also give us an upset tummy and diarrhea and things like that. And that might be related for him. If he does get diarrhea, canned pumpkin will help firm up his stool. If it's longer than a day, then you probably won't need to take him to a visit to the vet. A day of diarrhea is not that unusual for an adult. For puppies, next day you take him to the vet right away. But for him, get the canned pumpkin and just put a scoop in with his food. The fiber firms up his stool. All right, so after a little bit of time, every time you feed him, that reinforces a healthy leader-follower dynamic as well. Okay, so I'm trying to think other rules. Those are some good examples to begin with, but look for other opportunities to have rules. Also, we went over petting with a purpose and passive training. Petting with a purpose, the guardian probably pets him so much he doesn't really have to ask for it. But he does sometimes come and nudge her or pause at her, and when he does that, he's telling her what to do. If she pets him, then she's validating, yes, you are the boss of me. And then when he tells her not to do something else and she does it, that stresses him out and it leads to cortisol in his blood, and all these things are kind of interrelated. So from now on, when he comes and nudges you, we give him a counter order. Tell him to sit. When he sits, pet him under his chin. When a dog feels good about itself, his nose is parallel to the ground. So whenever all things are equal, try to pet him under his chin. You can scratch him here too. Just avoid patting on top of his head. So when he sits, pet him under his chin and say, sit. Not good sit, just sit. And then you can pet him as long or as little after that as you want. But he has to do something to change his state to earn his affection. After a while, he'll come and sit in front of you to prepay for attention. When he does, make sure you recognize him. Otherwise, he'll go to pawing and nudging you. And even if you want to pet him, still tell him to sit before you pet him. But only tell him once, sit. If he doesn't sit, lean back and watch TV or call the cat over and pet the cat. Jealousy can be a nice motivator. But you're saying, look, buddy, you do what I ask you to do, which is not a lot. If you can't be bothered to do it, then I got other things going on. You lose my attention. Playing a little hard to get with their dogs is a great way to help motivate them. Also, make sure you're on top of his nails. This nail on his left foot is his dew claw right here is way too long, and they can actually splinter, and you might have to actually amputate. So make sure you stay on that. I usually try to do about once a week because the quick will get longer, and then it's harder to get the nail to be short. For getting back to petting with a purpose, so you're gonna every time you pet your dog with a purpose, and I use that hand motion that I showed you. Don't just go up and don't go this way. Do it if this is the dog's head. Go at a crescent over their head as they'll tilt. As soon as they sit down, lower it, let him lick it off your hand if you have a treat, and then tickle him under his chin and say the word sit. And after a while, he'll come and start prepay for you. Make sure you do recognize that. Passive training is what we talked about for the food. We could also do the water and with his toys and with all the other stuff that he does. Every time he comes to you, pet him and say, come. Not when you ask him to, when he does it on his own. Every time he sits next to you, pet him and say, sit. Every time he lays down, pet him and say, crash. I taught my dog to stretch this way. Every time he stretched, I pet him and say, stretch. I'd say pet him every time he farts, but you probably don't want to emulate that. I don't think you can do it that way. Name all your individual toys. So every time he brings you a toy, oh, that's Tony the tiger. Stripes, that's for the zebra or whatever it is. And so that way he brings you the stripes. You're like, no, I said Tony. And he goes back and he figures out what you mean. So coming up with these command words can be really beneficial, and come up with fun command words whenever possible because they can read facial expressions. So if we say crash and my dog flaps down like this, most people smile, and that motivates the dog to want to do that activity again. So passive training is waiting for the dog to organically offer you the behavior without any influence from us whatsoever and just simply recognizing it and rewarding it. Petting with a purpose is telling the dog to do something to earn the affection, or the dog prepays, which really is leading towards passive training. But if you get in a habit of doing those two things, every time you pet your dog, it becomes a micro training session that boosts the dog's self-esteem and increases its respect for you as an authority figure, and helps it practice sitting, which is what we talked about in the above video. I don't know if we talked about in the above video, but make sure you do that for 10 steps or 10 treats to start the walk. At first for 5 steps, then maybe every up to 7 steps, then up to 10 steps. You get to the point where you're like at the end of the block and you still have a treat or two, and you stop, sit, and give him a treat. And after a while, he's paying attention to you. You'll stop, he'll just sit down automatically. I'm trying to think, is there anything else we went over that you want me to cover?
I don't think
I
so.
went over the 4 escalating consequences. Remember to use those in one after the other. You can combine them. You could hiss, stand up, and march all at the same time. I have videos for that, so you just go to doggonproblems.com, click on dog training tips. On the right side, search for escalating consequences. You can also search for leadership exercise if you need to brush up with the leadership exercise. I would try to do the leadership exercise several times a day. He got it pretty quickly. Now you can start elongating it. So once he lays down now, you wait a second before you kneel down. Next time, 2 seconds. Then you get to 5 seconds before you kneel down. Then you start elongating the kneel down. So you kneel down and wait 2 seconds, and then you tap. And if he gets up, you get up and mirror him before you tap. He's only allowed to get it when you tap, and say the word booty or change the word to something else if you don't want to use it every time he licks it up. And try to throw it that direction so you're walking backwards and sitting here. Because eventually what we want to do is just throw it there, and then he sits or lays down. We sit here, and now he's in between us and the TV, and then we can start elongating it. So at first, he has to, as soon as he sits, we turn and kneel down and give him permission. He's probably pretty much ready to go with that. Then the next stage is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds before I kneel down. Then I'm kneeling down within a 5-second window and waiting 2 seconds, and keep on doing it until you get to 5 seconds of him not getting it while you're kneeled down. Now, if he stands up, you stand up, you mirror him. And then you take a step, you take a step. But if he just stands up and you stand up and then he lays down, then you don't have to take any steps. He has to be at least 3, probably 4 feet away because he's such a long dog. And then we're going to start kneeling down and waiting. When we get to 5 seconds, then we're going to go from 5 to 10, 10 to 15. And then by the time I get to 15 seconds, at this point, I'm not going up and kneeling down anymore. At this point, we're just backing up here. And really, you probably could do this at this point. You walk back here and just wait 2 seconds before you lean over and tap. Then 4 seconds, then get up to maybe 10 seconds. And then go to 10 for 15, then 15, 30, 45, 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, 4 minute, 5 minute. Then try to go from 5, maybe go 7 minutes, 9 minutes, 11 minutes, go 2s until you get to the point where you can sit here for 15 minutes and you're sitting here watching TV while he's staying outside that 4-foot boundary around it. This helps him practice self-control, respect for you as an authority figure, and motivates him to listen to you. All right, I think that's about it.
He is
Levine?
out.
Yes, you are out like a light. Well, this is Levine. Is he named after Maroon 5? Yeah, there we go. I've met Adam a couple times. He's
You have?
He's a crazy guy, yes. All right, well, this is Levine. This is Luke.
He brought a ball over during the video.
He
likes to play fetch.
Oh, well,
the cat
unusual.
does. Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's tough to be a Levine. Well, this is Levine, this is Luke, and this is David, and this is their roadmap to success. Remember, everything you do trains your dog, only sometimes you mean it.